Hi, welcome. So in this video, we are going to continue from where we ended last video. We did basic if last video and nested if. So this video, we are going to try to add an or to the if statement. Remember, as an analyst, or even if you want to do some programming, you need to learn how to use this and or if. They are very, very important. So in this video, we are going to continue with the example we started in the last video and then add some and or in the code. So let's just go and see how to add those in the functions. So let's go straight. Okay, so I'll just create a new sheet, double click, then I'll just call this if yeah, with and yeah, and of course or. So let us copy this same example we did last time. I'll just copy this from here, copy, then I'll take it to this one here, and then I'll just paste here, paste, increase the size so that we can see, and then let me just increase that. So remember in this example, we had like a company trying to compensate the staff. So this performance is like the number of cartons sold, and then the job was to use if statements to calculate the commissions based on this this, what can I call it, this, like, these are the rules. This is the payment scheme. So from 0 to 3 cartons, they'll give you 5. Let's just put this in dollars. It could be euros, it could be anything. So if you sell 0 to 3 cartons, we give you $5. And if you sell 4 cartons, we give you $8. And then above 4 cartons, we give you $10. So this is what we did in the last video. If you want, you can go back and take a look at it. And now we want to use and or, which are very important and logical operators that you would always see. So the first thing is, let's just do a brief introduction to and or, and then since you've already seen if, and then so that we can try to match them now subsequently. So I'll just come to the right here, and then I'll just write them and here, and then I'll go down, I'll write or. So usually there is a first condition. I'll just use 2 conditions here, but the conditions could be many. Condition 1, and then the conditions could be many, so many conditions, and if they are met, then you get the output or the results. So we'll just give this like output. I'll just call this output. Let me just put this proper case output. So take this or down here, just put it down here. So there could be, if condition 1 is true, condition 2 is true, condition 1 could be true, and condition 2 is false, and as well as all 2 could be false, false, false. So let us copy this same thing down here, and I'll start with or, because I know or is usually easier to understand. So these are 2 conditions. So if one of them is true, if condition 1 is true, or condition 2 is true, then it means what the final output will be true, which means if, for example, you say either it's a weekend or you're on holidays, you can go and play. So it's one of them, either weekend or holidays, or you're on leave, you can play also, so you can go. It's true. Now for the condition, the one of true and false is either it's a weekend, but it's not necessarily a holiday for you, or you're not on leave, you can still go out. So as soon as one of the conditions are true, or would always give you a true as a result. Then if all are false, of course, if all are false, then it's definitely a false. And on the other hand is the 2 or 3 or 10 or multiple conditions all have to be true. So if it's a weekend and there is no rain or there's no snow or there is nothing, yeah, all those 2 conditions must be true before you go out. So, and make sure that all the 2 conditions are true for it to give an output of true. And also, if one of them fails, let's say it's a weekend, but it's rainy or it's snow or whatever, it's not, the conditions are not good. Even though it's a weekend, you can't go out. So this is a false. And of course, it's not a weekend and it's snowing and all that. So all of this gives false here. So you can see clearly where the difference is for the 2 of them, the red here and here, the red here. So, or it's mostly true except for when both conditions are false, or then all the conditions are false, and is true when all the conditions are true and all the other times is false. So this would help you as you go along with your analytical journey or your programming or whatever. Just get these basics. So now in Excel, now coming to Excel, and how does it look like? So it's just the syntax. You type and then it says checks whether all arguments are true and returns true if all arguments are true. The only time it's true is when all arguments are true, like we've seen here. So that is and then it would say what is a logical statement here. Check the logical 2, logical 3, logical 4, logical. It will check all of that and then it will give you a final answer. So or on the other hand, if you look at or here, equals to or. So or would check, let me just give it here, checks whether any of the arguments are true and returns true or false, and it only returns false if all arguments are false. All the other time is true except when the arguments are false, that it returns false. So just also, if you look at the syntax, it means that, let's say the first logical condition is true, then the second logical condition is true, and what do we expect it to be true, just like we saw here. So if I bring it down here, so you see it evaluates to the same thing we did here for the or. So if you pull it here again, it says that if this condition is true and another one is false, it gives a true. If this is false and another one is false, it gives a false. So there should be a logical statement inside here which gives output as true or false. Just like in the previous video, it doesn't give an output of 1 or 8 or 7 or A or B. It just either gives a true or a false. So I hope this you understand that. Maybe you just need to practice, you'll get this. But then let's go now to the example, like we developed the example of last video, adding these 2 conditions now. So now these are the rules, commission rules. They are giving you $5 if you sell 0 to 3 cartons. Now, what if they say that is not enough? We need another condition, condition 2. So this was condition 1. Based on the number of cartons you sold, you got your commission directly. So now they are saying that we need to check your punctuality. So if you were always early to work, or yeah, your punctuality was, let's just say, good, you came in time, left in time, let's just say good punctuality. Your punctuality has to be good for you to earn this commission. So it means that it's no longer just tied down to one condition of your sales performance. You sold 3 cartons or 8 cartons or 2 cartons. You must have sold these 8 cartons, and then we check if you were punctual. If the conditions are, now it depends. If it's and, it means that both of them must be true for you to get the commission. If it's or, you always get the commission unless both of them are false. You neither perform well nor you were punctual, just like we've seen here. So let me insert here so that we can have space. I'll just insert another column here. Now, these were the first commissions we evaluated in the last video. So you can always check on that. I'll just make these titles visible like titles. Now let's create a new column here, which is commissions with or. It's easier with or because with or everything is always true unless the two conditions fail. So now we are going to take this if here, and I'll show you an easy way to copy the formula, because if I copy like this, if I click here, for example, it is pointing to the C. That's where the arguments are, the C9 here, C9 less than 4 or C9 equal to 4. Now if I copy this formula here, copy, Control C, Control V, watch what happens. It now stocks D9, so I'll need to pull this way or pull it this way to fix it before it goes back to the C9 where the performance is. So but an easy way to do it, let me delete it, the trick is to copy this up in the formula bar up here, not copying it out like we were saying on the cell or in the cell like we did in the first video, Introduction to Excel. We are copying on it, which is like we are going in it instead, inside, copy like a text, press enter, and then we come here and then we paste it here, so it gives the same thing. Now we have to add or here, and we've seen the syntax of or here, so we need to make it in such a way that these two conditions check some or, including not only the performance now, but also the punctuality before the giving maybe the $5 commission or the $8 commission or the $10 commission. So what do we need to do? We need to add the second condition to verify before giving the payment or the commissions. So punctuality, and then I'll just use my format painter. Remember, we've seen this in previous videos. Then I would say this was good. I'll just say good here, good here, maybe bad here, good here, and bad here. So now we are good to go with the formula because we have the two conditions. He has to check, is this good? Is this performance in this range? And is it good? Then you pay the amount. Is this performance in which range here? And is it good? You pay. Or bad, good, or if it's bad, but you get a good performance, then you pay. So which means that when you think of it analytically now, there must be a zero condition. There's a condition where somebody doesn't even perform well, and neither is a person punctual. So whether or and it will be false in all cases. So let's look at that now. Everything is set. You have your punctuality here, and then you have your performance here, which is your condition 1 and your condition 2 are all here. So let's go commissions with all. Now first thing here, we need to modify this to get the or. So let's just go out here and type or, double click. Now there are two conditions. So the first one was to check the performance, then we add a comma here, and then we check if this one is equal to good. Then we close the or. So the or, what we are saying here is there are these two conditions. If this C9 is less than 4, or the person was punctual, then we give the person $5. Same thing we could do here. So we still come here, insert an or, and then we add the second condition, because for now it's just one condition that exists. So this equals to good, and then we close this. So again, if this is equals to 4 or this equals to good, then we have 8 here. And then remember, if you think like an analyst or you understand the business problem, there must be a zero, because either somebody gets $5, $8, 10, or 0. So you need to add another if statement again. So because there are 4 conditions, you need 3 if statements. The rule is, if you have 10 conditions, you need 9 if statements. You have 3 conditions, you need 2. So there's always an n-1 on the conditions you have. So now we have 4 conditions. One condition is you earn $5. Another condition is you earn $8. Third one is you earn $10, or something which is implicit, you earn 0 because you didn't meet up to any of these conditions. So there should be a third if statement. So, and that will be here now. Before this 10, we'll need to add another if statement. So we are going to say if, and then we open here, and then we type or. Now we come again, and then we could just say this now greater than the 4, now greater than 4, comma, or this one equal to, okay, yeah, or that one greater than the 4, or this D9 equal to, so that 10 was there, just so D9 equals to good. Then we give a 10, and then now because we have to close this or statement here, because it will either give a true or a false, as we saw here. So now if it's true is 10, then we need the final value. If it's false, if everything else is false, then the person gets 0. So we put 0 here, 0 here. So understand this syntax. If you have less than 4, or your performance was good, you were punctual, all these 2 conditions, if any of them is true, any one of them, we give you $5. Next condition, if any of these 2 are true, we give you $8. If any of these 2 conditions are true, you are greater than 4, we give you $10. And then the only thing that is possible is that you met none of those conditions, so we give you 0. Maybe your punctuality was bad and it didn't even sell anything. So this is because there are more brackets that we have to add here to close up the last bracket here. So if I close that, you'll see that if I go up there, you see there are 3 brackets before there were 2. So it's okay. Now let's pull this down, and then let's see what occurs. So it means that John, who sold 3 cartons, which is here, and has a good punctuality, any of the case gets $5, which is correct. Mary, who sold 8 cartons, so she should be above 4 cartons, she should be in this range, has bad punctuality, but because it's an or, not an and, at least she made a good performance, so her bad punctuality doesn't matter. She gets 10, so she still gets the commission. And then Peter, who sold 2 cartons, which should be here, and then gets a good punctuality, still gets 5. So that is or in this case. Now what happens now if it was with and? Yeah, so let's copy this and paste here. So now with and I'll just copy this formula like I showed you how to copy, like in the cell and the text. Go inside, do Ctrl+C, then press enter first to come out of it, else it will be editing the formula. Then you go here and then you press Ctrl+V. So now what I'll just simply do, I'll change all of these to and, all the or to and here, the next or here to and, the next or here to and. So what are we saying by this? We are saying that if this performance is less than 4 and the punctuality is good, we give the $5. If that performance is equal to 4, like maybe in this case, and the performance is good, we give $8. So for example, we expect this last person here to have 0 if we've written a good formula, because the performance is bad. And once as there is one condition that is not met, it gives you all false, so you get nothing here. So we expect a 0 here. And then here, if this C9 is greater than 4, like in this case, which is greater than 4, and good, but in this case the person is bad, the punctuality is bad, we expect a 0 here as well. Otherwise they would give a 10, and then yes, like we saw 0. So let's press enter here, and then we pull this down. Yeah, so just like we expected, we get the exact values. This person here had sold 8, but then Mary here sold 8 cartons, but then didn't have good punctuality. So because the and condition, one of the conditions is not correct, is false, like the punctuality was bad, so she gets nothing. Mike here sold 4 cartons, which is supposed to be in this line here, but had bad punctuality and got 0. So the rest are like the or as I've always been here. But then with this new condition, these 2 people get no commission. So let's just change this to good and see. You see, automatically we get 10 here. And if we change this to good as well, press enter, automatically the person earns the commission. So this has worked. Now you've used if and or to be able to come up with very good business rules, and like in this case, be able to get a fair compensation or fair commission scheme without necessarily going through so much hassles to calculate this manually. So this is something you could use even for your payroll. You could use even in your company or your sales performance, and it's just going to help you. This is one of the beauty of understanding how to use formula in Excel. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You are able to learn how to use or and along with if, very powerful functions for analysts. And if you're doing any data analysis work in Excel, it's really good to know them. Even if you want to go into other programming, or even as I said, you're building a website and you need to check if the user's password is there, or his email is the same thing, or the phone number, or whatever, to be sure before you let the person have access. These are these logical operators that you need to understand, and it will take your career higher in future. So hope you enjoyed this video. See you next video. Wish you good data luck.